Is there anything in your reporting for this new article that you didn't know back in June when you first reported? That was about 2 weeks before the debate between Trump and Biden, which revealed everything.
A Wall Street Journal report reveals Biden's aides have been hiding his mental decline since 2021, with unelected staff making key decisions and controlling his schedule. Critics who raised concerns were dismissed, but now the truth is out, confirming Biden hasn't fully been in charge. Serious questions remain about what's been happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot in this piece that came to light to us after that debate, after the initial story that came out, and after the debate. We have found that over the past few weeks and months, Democrats have become much more willing to come forward and talk about their experiences with the president and with this White House. And, you know, I'm quite grateful for that. That's helped us really understand, more fully understand the situation that has been going on for the last 4 years.
Okay, so here's some criticism of your reporting from back then. Joe Scarborough said, "I have repeatedly stated on air that I am an avid reader and cheerleader for the Wall Street Journal. That is what makes this false bias story so disappointing. It is undermined immediately by the massive weight on the record." And then you had Ben LeBold, he's the White House comms director, say, "Yep, complete and utter editorial fail by the Wall Street Journal. Makes you wonder who they're taking orders from." This is from the same people who want, a return to norms and for democracy not to die in darkness. Was there anybody that you felt was not truthful to you back in June that was talking to you now?
Look, I think that the White House knew exactly what they were doing in June.
Back in June, claims about Biden's staff controlling his access and decisions were dismissed as fake. Now, a new report with over 50 White House sources confirms that unelected aides filtered what Biden saw and heard, leading him to make decisions based on faulty information. This explains major blunders like issues with immigration, Afghanistan, and inflation that could have been avoided. The report also exposes how Congress and the media misled the public, insisting Biden was fully in charge when even his closest advisors struggled to meet with him. Instead of addressing his decline, Democrats pushed a false narrative to maintain power, leaving the country in the hands of unelected staff. It's a troubling look at how critical decisions were made over the past 4 years.
So, Bill, let's call this the great Biden Christmas border wall heist that President Trump, with a little help from his friends in Texas, stopped and caught him red-handed. Here's what happened, Bill. Last Thursday, the story broke when a border wall agent or a border agent said they were moving wall. I happened to be on Laura Ingraham that night as that story broke, and I said, well, I've got $1 billion in my pocket. We'll go buy it all. Well, we looked the next day, and it wasn't there. It was just old stuff was there, or maybe some photos that they were kind of masquerading what it was. Because what happened, Bill, is this summer, they notified us of an auction. We bought $12 million worth of border wall, about 4 miles, a big savings to our taxpayers. But they didn't tell us about this auction, as we find out. So they moved that wall, started last weekend, and that's when it started showing up. Fox had video of it, photos of it, and they were hustling it to Arizona to auction off yesterday. In the meantime, President Trump came out and said, this could be a criminal act. You better not do it. And we sent our people over there with our checkbook and said, we'll buy it all if it's good. We think they were trying to sneak 8,000 panels or more under the nose of the American public, under the nose of the states, because they didn't notify us of the auction. They hid the photos, but President Trump caught them. Don't mess with Trump and don't mess with Texas.
It feels like every new revelation about the Biden administration raises questions that deserve serious investigation. Remember when Biden was caught mishandling classified documents? It was the same issue that led to the FBI raiding Mar-a-Lago. But in Biden's case, a special investigator essentially ruled that he was too old and mentally unfit to be held accountable, so no prosecution followed. Some people are even saying that all of Biden's pardons should be nullified, arguing that he's not in the right state of mind to make executive decisions. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. Biden doesn't seem to personally hate Trump. In fact, they even met at the White House after Trump won the election. This suggests that many of these politically motivated attacks on Trump didn't come from Biden himself, but from the Democrat establishment, unelected staffers, and aides trying to hold on to power by targeting a political rival. Moves like trying to sell off parts of the border wall for next to nothing just to prevent Trump from using them if he returns to office, feel like spiteful, last-minute power plays that hurt taxpayers more than anyone else. Everywhere you look, there's another scandal or controversy tied to this administration. For years, people have been calling out the hypocrisy, dishonesty, and political gamesmanship, even when the mainstream media dismissed these claims as baseless. Now, the truth is finally coming to light. Watch as Scott Jennings calls out the Democrats on CNN and slams them for covering up Biden's cognitive decline. You've got to see this.
This is the biggest scandal in America, and the level and volume of people who dedicated themselves to lying to everyone at home about this man's condition for 4 straight years, up through this summer, is breathtaking. It's a scandal of epic proportions, and it's a fair question to ask, who is running the country? Who has been running the country? And as I said earlier, if you're worried about Donald Trump's advisors having influence, for the last 4 years, apparently this president, duly elected, but this president was not capable of fulfilling the duties of the office. And his staff and the White House lied about it and kept it from the American people. It's an absolute scandal. We elect people for a reason. The elected leadership of the government is supposed to be making decisions. For 4 years, the unelected have been in charge of our country during critical moments. We don't live in a country where the unelected are supposed to rule us. We live where the elected are supposed to rule. My problem is for 4 years we were lied to about who's actually running the country. This is a problem.
At every turn, it feels like the Democrats are becoming exactly what they accuse the Republicans of being. When history looks back on this era, it might view Donald Trump as someone who genuinely wanted to improve the country, take on the establishment, and make the government work for the people. Yet, Democrats continue to twist the narrative. They once labeled Trump a dictator, authoritarian, and fascist, but now they're switching gears, half claiming he's just a puppet with no real control. The inconsistency is glaring. The party seems to be digging itself deeper into a hole. At this rate, it's hard to imagine them competing seriously in 2028, let alone 2032. Their credibility is tanking. Big donors won't want to invest after the chaos under leaders like Kamala Harris. Fewer and fewer people trust mainstream media outlets tied to the Democrats, making it harder for them to spin their narratives. And after Joe Biden pardoned his son and reversed course on so many promises, the morally superior image they've tried to uphold is completely crumbling. On a more somber note, there was a tragic terrorist attack in Germany where a criminal drove through a Christmas festival. As of now, 5 people have died and over 200 have been injured. It's absolutely devastating. And while I won't show the footage due to its graphic nature, it's clear this is a heartbreaking moment for everyone involved. Let's listen to how the news is covering this tragedy.
Tonight, a German city in grief after what was supposed to be an evening of festivities ended in scenes of absolute horror. They had crowded the Magdeburg Christmas market when all of a sudden, the unimaginable. A car slamming into a crowd of people, 5 killed, among those a 9-year-old child. 200 people were injured, 41 with serious injuries, some of those deemed life-threatening. Authorities say it all happened within a 3-minute window. The suspect entered the market using the emergency access route, approaching slowly, then accelerating into the crowd.
One of the biggest issues with open borders is that it creates opportunities for extremists and terrorists, people who hate our country, our values, and Western civilization as a whole, to enter and take advantage of the safety we offer. So far, we've been fortunate that these types of attacks haven't happened in America, but with a record number of individuals on the terrorist watch list crossing the southern border in recent years, it feels like we're playing with fire. The truth is, compassion politics don't work when dealing with evil, ruthless individuals who exploit kindness for their own gain. Borders aren't just lines on a map. They're agreements among the people about shared ideals, principles, customs, and traditions. If we allow individuals into the country who not only reject these values but actively seek to destroy them, we're setting ourselves up for failure and putting our citizens at risk. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.